Good morning, my darlings, and welcome to a brand new vlog. I hope there's not going to be flickering going on. There isn't, weirdly, in what I'm seeing, because I've got my internal cupboard lights on, and normally it makes the camera go a bit crazy, but hopefully it's all right. So today is Monday. It is the start of a new week, and I am freshly showered after doing just a quick Peloton this morning. One of my favorite instructors, Robin, I think her surname is Arthon. She is back from her maternity leave, so I did a 20-minute pop ride with Robin this morning. And because I am just working from home today, but I'm probably going to do a little bit of shooting, a couple of Instagram stories and things like that, I have popped on a pretty dress. This is one of my wonderful finds from Amazon. I was working on pulling together some products for a graphic this morning that I think I'll share on my newsletter today, and probably in newsletter that's going out the day after this video goes out. So I will, as always, leave a link to my newsletter at the top of my description box. If you sign up, there's basically a directory within there which lists all the discount codes with brands that I'm working on with, and edits of my favorite products, what I'm lusting over, and lovely little bits and bobs like that. So that collection of my Amazon favorites and things which have come back in stock, because I always get so many questions about these dresses, the ones with the lovely smock detail at the top. They are, I think, $34.99, and they've also just released some long sleeve versions. And yeah, because they're so affordable but just so comfortable with the smocking and the fact that they're full length, I wear them loads on these days when I'm just at home, but I want to feel like I've made an effort. That is my, yeah, these are like my go-to. So anyway, that was that's my outfit of the day. You know, I never actually plan what I'm going to talk about when I first start vlogging, so sometimes I turn on the camera and I'm just like, hello, hi darlings, how are you? And then I just stop talking because I don't actually plan what I'm going to start chatting about. Like, you don't think about a sentence you're going to say when you first start catching up with your friends. So that's why my vlogs probably always start on a very random note. Sorry, my hair is looking a little bit scraggly. I'm just going to let it dry naturally for the next couple of hours because I have been putting quite a bit of heat on it lately. But I just sat down here to finish my makeup, and I wanted to show you a product that has really taken me by surprise. So this was very kind. This was very kindly sent by Flannels, who are a website. They sell clothing. I don't actually believe that I've shopped on there before, but I need to check it out. But they've just launched Beauty, and they sent a lovely selection of products, including the Dr. Barbara Sturm Glow Drops, which I'm really keen to try those out. But also within it was this. You can see your camera reflecting on there, balanced on my Kate Somerville SPF and a L'Occitane body cream. Things Josie uses as tripods. Okay, so this is from Patrick Tarr, who is a makeup artist, and I met him in Dry Bar, I never remember the nail place, when he was a La Mer ambassador. It was a really lovely event. I'm just going to put this on silent. And he has since then launched his own beauty line. Tried a few products from it, and they're really nice. So this came in the box of goodies from Flannels, and it's called the Patrick Tarr for Brows Shaping Wax in Clear. And obviously everyone has been obsessed with soap brows. It was a trend that I never actually got on board with. I've never really done much with my brows. Obviously had them microbladed a couple of months ago now. I actually have my follow-up appointment tomorrow, so she goes into any areas that haven't developed properly and basically redoes it. So I don't know if I'm going to have super dark brows again, or if I will not look quite as scary. Hopefully I'm not going to look quite so scary. Anyway, so I never really got on board with the soap brow trend because I always had to fill in my brows with a pencil, and then I would just use like my Bare Minerals to set them. And I opened this up, and first of all, to be honest, I thought that they'd forgotten to put the product in, because it looks like an empty palette. Sorry, that close-up was probably a bit gross, because basically it's not empty. There is a clear gel in here, and you have to activate it with either water or a spray. So I just misted it with my Pixie Glow Mist, which does get the packaging, I mean, messy. This is gonna get messy. It's not going to look cute in its rose gold packaging for long. There is a mirror in the lid, but obviously when you mist it, it gets wet. So what you basically have to do after you've activated it with your mist is rub, this is not sponsored by the way, rub a spoolie on it. And I have this, which is actually from Giorgio Armani, but you could literally get one of those free mascara ones that shops have by the testers. And I rubbed the brush on here, and then I brushed my brows through with it, and I really like how they have turned out. So for some reason, this kind of wax has added volume and product to the individual brow hairs, which has really kind of made each individual brow hair more prominent. And where I've had them microbladed, the shape is already there. So I feel like this is just a really quick and easy way of me doing my brows. So I can actually now see where the hype for soap brows came in. I've not done mine too voluminously. Like, you could obviously brush them up even more, make them even more wild looking, but I haven't done that. So yeah, I stand corrected. I'm glad I tried that, because when I opened this I was like, wow, people are paying XYZ for essentially a square of wax. Can I not just literally use a bar of soap? Maybe I'll try that tomorrow. Maybe I'll just use an old bar of soap and see if it's any different, because that could be the ultimate saviour, couldn't it? Anyway, sun's out. I'm going to go down into the garden and I'm going to get some runner beans and I'm going to make a nice beany, cheesy pasta thing for my lunch. Now, I know my last vlog was very long, so you may not have got to the end with the kitchen garden update, but as you may notice, we have pulled out the broad beans and we have got a lot of new bits now planted in the new little wigwam area. So I've got all of my yellow pear tomatoes now out here. Hopefully they survive, hopefully it's warm enough. We are due a little heat wave, or a few warm days at least. You can see a few little tomatoes starting to come through. And then these are actually Mum's tomatoes that she had in her kitchen windowsill, I believe. Nothing in here at the moment, now that the beans are gone. Wow, the courgette flowers are really showing off. Let's check out my massive marrow, or what did we decide it was? Potentially a trombone courgette. Look at that bad boy, and its twin over here trying to battle for attention. I don't know if I should like lift it off the ground, because surely it's going to start to get rotten. Do we have any more actual courgettes that I can eat yet? Not yet. Treasure hunt coming to find edible bits in this garden. Okay, my darlings, it's a few hours later now. I'm back up here because I have finally finished my unpacking from Ibiza. I mean, we got back a week ago and I literally finished unpacking today. It's always the cosmetics that are just so boring that I can't bother to do it, but it's all done. Everything's been washed and we're good. We are good. But I noticed I was like cramming and trying to squeeze stuff in my wardrobe. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time this afternoon up here sorting some wardrobe stuff. I have been shooting a few stories and clips and stuff that I needed to do just over the past couple of hours, which is why I have done something with my hair. And I have just had a lovely jewellery delivery from my favourites, Astrid Miyu, and their packaging just... If you've not seen Astrid Miyu packaging before, because I know I normally just can't wait to get the stuff on, so you don't normally see the boxes, but it is just so beautiful, so subtle, pink with the gold writing. I just love it, matches my nails. Good news is I also managed to move my microblading appointment. Don't know why that just came into my head. So I no longer have to go into London tomorrow, but I have now got a full day in London on Friday. That was so random. You can tell that I just say whatever is in my brain when I'm vlogging. Actually, the reason why was because I was looking down at how lovely the box was and thinking, oh, it matches my nails. Oh, I must get my nails redone. Oh, maybe I can get my nails done when I'm in London. Oh, now I'm going to be in London on Friday. Anyway, I digress. So we have a beautiful collection of new bits here from Astrid Miyu. A mixture of new and also like classic new bits. Something that I love about Astrid Miyu that I probably say every single time I talk about them with you is that the pieces are just so timeless. They literally work with no matter what your personal style is. If you are following trends, if you've got a classic wardrobe, these bits just slot in so well. And for me, you're probably bored of me saying the expression, but everything in my wardrobe, I like to get cost per wear. I like to think about the cost per wear of something. So whether that is a £35 dress that I'm going to wear 35 times at least, that means it's £1 per wear, or whether it's a £100 bracelet. This bracelet is not £100, but if it's a £100 bracelet, you can bet I'm going to wear something as classic and beautiful as this at least 100 times. So that's £1 price per wear. Whereas I do actually find, like, some of my old, oh my gosh, why was I doing this? Oh, so when we were in Ibiza, Lydia and I were trying to figure out if we'd actually met each other like 10 to 12 years ago when Lydia used to work there, and I got my old Ibiza pictures from my Facebook up and we were scrolling through them. Funnily enough, she actually recognised some of the people in my pictures as some of her friends that she used to work with, but we didn't find each other in the pictures. But anyway, I was looking at the jewellery that I was wearing in these pictures, and in fact, I'm going to pop it on the screen here. One of the pieces was this ginormous gold chain with a huge elephant on it. I had a necklace with a giant elephant on it, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I think it was definitely from Topshop. I think I probably paid £18 for it, and I wore it twice. So that's £9 price per wear of something that's really crazy and statement. So not good price per wear, like £9 per wear is not that good. Whereas something like this beautiful classic gold chain bracelet from Astrid Miyu, you're gonna wear this at least 100 times. I don't know about you, but I just don't take things like this off. They are just always on my wrists, around my neck, in my ears. So even if you wear it for like a third of a year, that's 100 days. So that's, yeah, I think you get me. So this really beautifully matches some of the pieces that I already have in my collection. I have got earrings with this style on them. I have got a necklace in this style. But the reason why I've not got it on the moment is because I have got something new. Which box is it in? Okay, so I've got the new bits in front of me. These pieces are all new to me, and I'm going to stack them all together to show you all the newness. But if you already have a favourite necklace and you're looking to just sprinkle something a little bit new and add a bit of excitement to your favourite existing necklace, whether it's Astrid Miyu or whether it's something that you have got from your great aunt Gertrude, no matter what your favourite necklace is, you can make it look new and you can add excitement to that look by stacking. And that's something that I love to do with my bracelets, something that I love to do with my rings, and especially necklaces, and especially if you like to wear open necklines, or if, as we go into, dare I say the A word, as we go into autumn with knitwear, I think layering up some beautiful necklaces over knitwear always looks beautiful. So this is, I wouldn't call this a snake chain, but it's like it's kind of like a flattened snake. It's like a flat chevron-y snake chain in yellow gold, and this, I would say, is the perfect starting point if you are going to do some stacking. I would say if you're stacking, a pendant necklace and a more plain necklace is a really good starting block for your stacking. So this is the perfect, if you have got a favourite pendant necklace, adding something like this is a really great way to just bring a little bit of newness and a little bit of difference to your usual stack. So to showcase this, I'm going to show you how beautifully it layers with the Astrid Miyu Horoscope Necklace. So the zodiac constellations are back, and this is my Sagittarius necklace. I've actually broken my thumbnail really far down. I don't know if you can see, it's like there, it's literally halfway down my nail. So it's actually quite painful opening, ow, these necklace clasps. And what I like to do is make sure that the actual pendant is on my skin as opposed to on my dress. And this has got about, I would say, 2 inches of wiggle room, so you can really make sure that it's at the length that you want it to be, and you do want it to be at least, I would say, 1 centimetre away, okay, there, from your shorter necklace if you're going to be doing some stacking. In the past, there we go, that looks absolutely gorgeous. In the past, people have asked me how I feel about mixing metals. I don't mind it. Obviously, my engagement ring is not yellow gold, but I wear it with yellow gold jewelry. I think if you're gonna have two necklaces together, then it does look better if they are the same color, but I don't think it matters with like rings and watches. I haven't worn a watch in such a long time. I want to get back in the habit of wearing my Samsung Galaxy watch, because it's just so useful with like your diary and your notifications, and if you get a WhatsApp, etc, etc. But that's rose gold, and actually I don't mind having rose gold and yellow gold. Okay, so we have got a gorgeous stack here. So you can see this is my Sagittarius necklace, and I love how it looks against the contrast of the flat snake chain of the one that I'm wearing above it. Rings. So I have not actually swapped my rings around in quite some time, and I do love a ring stack. So actually this one that I've not taken off in ages, here we have got, can you see it? Oh, it's so beautiful. Excuse the fact that my nails really do need redoing. It's quite hard to show you, but it's got like little gems. And this, I don't know if this is actually part of the Zodiac collection, but it almost looks, gosh, that's so beautiful. Or do I want to wear it on that finger? Yeah, actually I quite like it on my first finger. There we go. Oh, look at my nail chip. Awful. Yeah, it does kind of look a little bit constellation-esque with the swirl of the gems in there. And once again, if you have got favorite rings, it's such a good stacker, because actually on the other side it's just plain, so you could wear it as a plain gold band, or you could have it with the detailed I think it's cubic zirconia showing through, and it looks gorgeous. Now, something that I am forever grateful for with Astrid Miyu is that they have not only a beautiful selection of normal earrings, but if I can find it, we have another necklace here, something like this as well, great for stacking. If you don't want anything as bold as a big pendant, you want to do a more subtle stack, something like this is absolutely gorgeous. And what I was saying is that I love Astrid Miyu because not only do they have the most beautiful selection of earrings, but if you want to stack elsewhere other than on your neck, your hands and on your wrists, you can also stack your ears. But if, unlike me, you never were brave enough to get a piercing other than your like normal one, you can use the Huggies, these little kind of clip-on-y ones. There we go. How beautiful is that with the dangly dangly, to add a little bit more interest and excitement to your ears without having to get another piercing. Okay, so this is where we're going to start. This is so beautiful. This one is actually for a pierced ear. So this one is a little hoop. You've got that little chain hanging. This is going to make me look so cool. And because of the little hanging chain, this is going to make a little bit of a statement, but not too much of a statement, if that makes sense. It's still very classic, but if you do want to do something a little bit more jazzy, then this is the perfect way of doing so. I have actually not worn earrings since before, oh no, that's a lie. I was wearing my Astrid Miyu little pearl hoops the other day. So I have worn earrings since Ibiza. I was beginning to think that my ears might have closed up. So you can see there, we have the most beautiful little hoop, which has got the little sparkly stars on it. My ears are always really red when I first put earrings in. And now I'm going to add the piece de resistance, which is the little huggy earring. And I pop it in over the narrowest part of my ear. Oh my goodness. I actually look like a cool girl, which clearly I am not. Even just for using that very sentence. But this for me is a way of like getting the look without having to get additional piercings, and for me to be able to accessorize myself further is just an absolute winner. And all these pieces are so classic, so timeless. So whether you like to dress for the trends or whether you like to dress classically like I do, then these bits have all got you covered. So what a beautiful selection of new pieces. Thank you very, very much to Astrid and Miyu for these beautiful additions. And what I'm going to now prove is their classicness and their ability to go with so many different things, because I have been researching this afternoon autumn winter trends. Yes, so it was actually raining when I woke up and I thought, I want to wear a jumper today. I really did want to just wear a jumper today, and it got me really thinking about autumn. Luckily the sun then came out and the thoughts went out of my mind, but I did start to have a little think about autumn trends. I know it's August and it is ridiculous, but it's my job to know what's going to be in fashion in the coming seasons. And If you know me and you know my wardrobe, you'll know that I don't let trends dictate what I wear, quite the opposite. But if I'm aware of trends, then I might be able to pull some things out of my wardrobe that perhaps tick the boxes, but are still very true to my style. If I'm making an investment in something, I would much rather it be classic and not a trend piece. But if there's a trend that I think is really fun and that will slot in seamlessly with my wardrobe and my personal style, then I'll normally go to the high street just to kind of play around with it, try it out, see how it works. With jewellery, keep it classic all the way, because again, for that price per wear, I want my jewellery to go with everything. I don't want to have to change my jewellery to make it work for my outfit, and I don't think I've ever invested in trend jewellery, unless pearls come into fashion, in which case I'm all about investing in pearls. But yeah, the kind of jewellery that I like to invest in and add to my collection is very timeless. So anyway, autumn winter trends. What did I learn from my research this morning? What I think I'll do is I'll talk through the trends, and then I will go around my wardrobe and pick out some pieces that potentially work for the trends, and I'll let you know if I'm going to style them differently for autumn winter 2021. So there are a few things that were quite predictable when it came to doing my trend research. Obviously, we are still experiencing craziness right now, so designers have, I would say, on the whole, kept it fairly safe. There was still quite a lot of leaning towards the eternal classics, like the little black dress. We saw a lot of reincarnations of the little black dress. I personally don't wear black. I actually just don't suit it. I feel like I can't actually pull off black, so that is a trend that I'm gonna swipe straight past. But then there was a lot of almost reassurance in a lot of knitwear that we saw across the catwalks. Practically every designer did something crazy with knitwear, and in particular a trend that I drew from this was very much a resurgence of that really fun après ski trend. And this is something that I love and that I have invested in the past. From the high street, I think some of my favourite kind of après ski jumpers in fact are the more affordable ones. But then I do remember Isabel Marant did a really nice one last year, and when I say après ski jumpers, I mean the ones that are like chunky jumpers, but then they've got that kind of Fair Isle pattern on them, whether it's mountains or skis or snowflakes, you know, that quite retro style pattern on there. I really like it. I love skiing. I don't know if I'll be able to go skiing this autumn winter. I'd love to, I really would, and I'd love to rock the après ski trend on the slopes. But also some of my thermals from Sweaty Betty tick those boxes as well. Thermals I think is such a good gift idea as well for Christmas. I know some family friends that are given Sweaty Betty thermals from their parents every year, and they're often a really great way of just like dabbling with that après ski trend. So that was something that I spotted. Skiing is actually quite a good post-COVID holiday. You're very socially distanced when you're on the slopes. And designers, so it was Balenciaga, Chanel, Miu Miu, they all very much had an après ski vibe to their collections. I'll pop some pictures on the screen here of some of my favourites. I would say if you are just dabbling with this trend, keep it more neutral. I really like it when it is perhaps a cream jumper with like a brown or a navy pattern on it. You don't have to go completely bold with like having snowflakes and trees and skiers on your jumper. You can just go for like crisscross design. High neck is always really cozy. I wouldn't go too bold with your silhouette. Just keep the silhouette flattering. I would say if you're trying out this kind of trend for the first time, then keep something, what's the word? In line with what you're already comfortable with. So if you're going with a pattern that's a little bit new, like an après ski pattern, keep something consistent with what you're already familiar with, like the silhouette, for example. That would be my top tip. Next trend that I spotted, which I think was in fashion last year as well, is the 1920s. And I think that it's no surprise we are very much looking back at previous eras in times of turmoil like we're experiencing now in a pandemic. The trend is always to look back on happier times, and in a way I would say the trends are kind of 1920s opulence, sequins, glamour meets the fun and frivolity of the 80s. I've seen a lot of 80s silhouettes, a lot of 80s colours, and I really like them. Definitely with this trend it is not about the minimalism. We saw lots of fun sequins drama from brands like Loewe, which I was not expecting, Paco Underhill, that I was expecting, Dries Van Nouten, even Valentino. There were sequins everywhere, but not like clubby outfits. They were still quite covered up. I don't think anyone really wants to promote like going out clubbing at the moment. D&G, Isabel Marant, Prada, everyone was doing it. So yeah, I think the kind of 1920s fun meets 80s glamour is going to be something that we're seeing a lot of this autumn winter. The next trend that I really like, and I'm actually really looking forward to rummaging in my wardrobe to see what I can find for, I'm not really sure what you'd call it. I'm going to say off color, which sounds really weird, but instead of really bold hues that we've seen previously, that we often see in autumn winter, it's almost like everything was just left outside all summer long and just got a little bit faded. That's the color spectrum that I'm noticing throughout autumn winter 2021 catwalks. Colors that I really like in this faded pattern are, well, obviously like browns. I like it when a brown is a little bit softer. I think that a faded brown, like a tan, is very easy to wear, very flattering. Like this jewelry, it just works for everyone. So I think that faded browns are going to be what everyone's gonna wear. But then we were also seeing faded yellows, and not quite ombre, but they really did look like you had a really nice yellow dress or yellow cardigan and then you left it out in the sun, but surprisingly wearable. I think because they are muted, these colors are wearable. Imagine last year rust was a big color trend. This year, again, it's been left out in the sun. It's like a faded, muted, just slightly off rust color. Again, Loewe, they did this really well. Prada, JW Anderson, once again, I'll have a few of my favorites on the screen here. There was quite a lot of lemon throughout the catwalk. And then in some instances, now this is where I didn't really like it, was a contrast color as well. So whether that was bubblegum pink or like a bright cobalt blue, I personally didn't love that, but I can see that that will probably creep in to the high street. This is why I love doing trend analyses before the shops start to bring in their autumn collections, because then you can just have these in the back of your head and think, ah yes, I'm going to see a lot more of that this season, or this from my wardrobe can work for that trend this season. And yeah, as well as the miserable weather this morning, I was actually on River Island today, and I noticed that they had started to get autumn stuff in, so I thought, wow, it's about time. Oop, I did a little bit of autumn trend research. So yeah, slightly off color is the next trend, and I think we'll see that across knitwear. I think we'll probably see it in outerwear as well, maybe some slightly off rust coats, things like that, maybe capes, perhaps from the 80s silhouette trend. We might see some capes, but the silhouette that is unfortunately for me going to be massive this autumn winter is, again, tailoring. Tailoring is huge, which surprises me because we've not, well, many of us have not been in an office for the last nearly 2 years now. Maybe people are missing their tailoring. I don't love it. I'm not really one for a blazer. I prefer floaty dresses, but I appreciate that a lot of people do like to get dressed up and they feel good when they're wearing a really smart tailored suit. But we're seeing almost double tailoring, so more tailored pieces paired together than we have done in previous seasons. All the big ones, Prada, Gucci, Valentino, but then also ones which I really like, how they take on trends like Bruno Cucinelle, hope I've said that correctly. They are all doing tailoring and not in a subtle way. It's really like big shoulders, again a little bit 80s, double-breasted, suit trousers, often even finished with a tie. I mean, it's not a trend that I will invest in. Maybe I'll bring back some of my double-breasted coats, which when I am just here in the Cotswolds, I feel like they are a little bit too dressy. But I think I'm going to be going back into London a lot more this autumn winter. So yeah, double-breasted and big shoulders and tailoring as a whole is back. I know that a lot of you will be very happy to hear it. Okay, it's the autumn equivalent to florals in spring. Groundbreaking, and it is knitwear in autumn. I mean, you don't even need to say it. Even if it wasn't a trend, even if it was an anti-trend, people would still wear knitwear in autumn. But designers know that after the last 18 months to 2 years with COVID, when given an option, we will now always choose a comfortable outfit. So I think the designers know that they are playing it safe when it comes to knitwear, but we're seeing OTT knitwear. Ulla Johnson, Chloe, Isabel Marant, Jonathan Anderson, Fendi, they're all doing like big bold knits, sometimes with giant pom-poms, sometimes with asymmetric hemlines. We're seeing brands already on Net-a-Porter like Joseph doing knitted cycling shorts. I mean, Not sure I'll be going for knitted cycling shorts, but I do love a knitted midi skirt. I'll be bringing my Reese one out again. That's something that we can get out of the wardrobe in a second, and I will keep a lookout. In fact, I did see one on Net-a-Porter. I'll pop on a picture on the screen here. I think knitted midi skirts could be back again because we want to look a little bit smarter, but we're not willing to sacrifice the comfort. So knits, whether that's knitted skirts, maxi dresses, midi skirts, I think everything is going to be knitted this autumn winter, which I am happy about because I just want to be comfortable. So practically every designer that I looked at during my research this morning have bought out a puffer coat. So puffer coats are not going anywhere. I did invest in one last winter from Reese and I love it. It's my duvet coat and I can totally see why they're going to be big on in the catwalks on the high street again this autumn winter. They're so comfortable, they're so practical, and the fact that designers like Chloe, Tom Ford, Miu Miu, Kate with an H, they're all bringing out dramatic puff coats this season. I think people are just really looking to invest in those practical items as much as those trend items. Even though it is a trend, people want them to be practical, so I think that's what designers have understood after this COVID year. So yeah, puff coats, I am seeing them in like jewel tones, in emeralds, in oranges. I personally will stick to neutrals, knowing that I'm on trend, but still keeping it quite classic in my puff coat. I'm sure I will be tempted with a new one at some point throughout the autumn winter season, but for now I love my Reese one. I call it my duvet coat and it's just so comfortable and I got so much wear out of it last winter. And then another trend that I'm very happy about is the rise of the midi skirt. I've already mentioned knitted midi skirts. I think it has something to do with how the economy is performing. When we are in an economically uncertain time, we tend to lower our hemlines. Maybe we just don't want risk, I don't know. If you look back in history, longer styles have always been very closely connected to economic downturns. So yeah, we've had a pandemic, hemlines are long, they were last year, they are again this year. So midi skirts, whether they are knitted or are they pleated, Christian Dior did the most beautiful like knife pleat midi skirts. I've got a lot of midi skirts in my collections. This is a trend that I am very, very happy about. I love pairing them with knee boots, knee-high boots, over knee boots, maybe even ankle boots. Maybe I can finally get some wear out of my Chloe ankle boots. So as well as Christian Dior, Loro Piana, Max Mara, Chloe, again, all doing beautiful midi skirts, and it won't be long until this style filters down into the high street. Reese always do beautiful midi skirts. I'm hoping that Under Stories might do some nice knitted ones this season. I think they did one last year. I think I was too slow to get it. But yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. And then the last trend is another really obvious one, and it's all about keeping it cozy. Some designers that I wouldn't expect to necessarily do really cozy stuff, and we're not talking about sweatpants here, we are talking about elevated pieces potentially made in a cozy fabric. So Christian Dior did a I think it was a fuzzy hoodie, which was quite surprising, but that very much cemented the trend. We're seeing some beautiful coats with like really, really soft fuzzy linings. I'm seeing a lot more brands doing like house shoes and slippers. Chloe, for example, they already have a few pairs on Net-a-Porter. Anything that I'm popping on the screen here that's already available to buy, I will leave linked in the description box down below. So I think we'll be seeing more shearling, we'll be seeing more of that kind of bobbly material. Do you remember my Vince slides from last year? They will be great for this trend. Silhouettes might be a little bit more tapered, but everything is going to be cozy this autumn winter, which is music to my ears. So those are the trends that I have noticed a lot of throughout my research. I'm sure there will be more that spring up upon us, but good to have these in the backs of our minds. So what I'm going to do is a little dash around the wardrobe, and I'm going to pull out some bits that I already own that work for these trends. So let's have a little look. I mean, straight away for that fuzzy cozy trend, we have got my moon boots. I've had these for, gosh, 4 or 5 years now. Really, really love those. Any excuse to wear them, I'm happy with. Where are my, there they are. So these were the shoes that I was talking about, my little Vince slides. If any of these are still in stock anywhere, I mean, you can see I got a lot of wear out of those last year. It's this kind of fuzzy material I think is going to be really big this season. Oh my gosh, guys, if the Amazon boots, I mentioned my Amazon dress at the beginning of the video, if my Amazon boots are back in stock, I'll leave them linked down below because they are the best boots ever. so comfortable, and they always sell out in actual winter, so I definitely recommend getting them now. I don't think there's anything else in there that is going to be particularly on trend for autumn winter. Let's have a look in my coat cupboard. So this is the shorter version of the Reese coat that I was telling you about. So I have it in, oh no, this is my long one. Oops. I think I do have this in a shorter version, but I'm so glad that puffer coats are on trend again, because oh my gosh, even though it's August, this is absolutely ridiculous, but yes. I love this coat so much. It is literally like a duvet. It's so comfortable. It's far too hot to be wearing it right now, but this is the coat that I cannot wait to wear again. Should probably send it to the dry cleaner. And then I would say if you invested in anything that's like really obviously cozy, like this kind of thing last year, anything with Borg or like shearling, I think this is just going to be as big this year as it was last year, so you made a really good investment if you did that last year. I think teddy coats are something else that just never really go out of fashion because they're so comfortable and they're so practical, and teddy coats. So I was at a hen do in Manchester last weekend. I'm not sure what order my vlogs are going up, so you might see this before my Manchester vlog, but one of the girls on the hen do, she was wearing a teddy coat in August, but it didn't look out of place because they're just so practical. Yeah, shearling gilets, it feels totally mad talking about them at this time of year, but I think with the cozy trends, I think this is just going to be ticking those boxes again this year. So we are all good with outerwear. I will probably still buy more, but we've got it covered. Okay, what about in here? Midi skirts. I actually wore this last night for a little outing to a pub. So this is a lovely midi skirt from Reese. It's got really nice detail down here with the slightly thinner pleats at the bottom. Things like this. So last night I just paired it with a brown tank top. Looked great, but in autumn winter I like to pair stuff like this with like light tan coloured roll necks, cashmere roll necks. My favourite one from Lily Silk I would definitely wear with this. Gosh, this cupboard really smells like my perfume. And then honestly, I think you might surprise yourself with how much wear you would get from a knitted midi skirt. This here is my Reese one that I've had for about 4 or 5 years, and it's one of the most worn skirts in my collection, so I'm thrilled that knitted midi skirts are going to be so big again this season. I can't wait to wear it. If Reese do anything like this in a different colour, then I will definitely invest. Obviously, I said at the beginning of this kind of trend chat that with trends I tend to buy from the high street, but if I know something works really well for my personal style, then I'll invest a little bit more. Like Reese is obviously more premium, but then if I have worn something like this loads and loads and loads, that is my kind of green light to then go and buy the designer version, because I know that I'm going to get lots of wear from it. So if, for example, I saw an Isabel Marant or a Chloe knitted midi skirt that worked really well with my wardrobe, I would be tempted to invest. When it comes to my knitwear collection, I wouldn't say I really have anything that bold necessarily. I would say my knitwear is all fairly safe. I have a lot of it, as you can tell. Nothing really in those what do we call it, slightly off color kind of hues, other than maybe, yeah, I really actually don't have anything that's in that kind of off color, unless you would say faded pinks, maybe things like this, like it's not like dusky pink. I think that could be a color that we see a lot more of. I think this is Stella McCartney. Yes, again, a nice classic piece. Don't be afraid to invest in good quality knitwear. I guess you could say this is a slightly off color. This one was from And Other Stories. This is the kind of jumper that looks really, really good with layered knitwear. So you can see how nice that would look if you, sorry, layered necklaces. Just looks really nice if you have got more of a plain bodice on your knitwear. And then in this cupboard I do have a few sequined pieces. I'm not sure that they would be jazzy enough to classify for that 20s/80s trend, but I do have, I wore this for New Year, my little sequin dress. I've got a metallic skirt in here. Nothing too bold. I don't have anything like sequin and padded shoulders, but aside from like 1 or 2 parties, Christmas and New Year, I don't really see that I personally would get that much price per wear from those kinds of trends. So the roaring 20s/80s trend is one that I will probably bypass this year. What other trends were there? Double-breasted, my coats are all in storage and they will stay that way until at least the end of September. But yeah, I would highly recommend doing this now that we've had a little chat about some of the trends. Go through your wardrobe and just kind of visualize and mentally have in your head the things that you already own that tick those trends, so that you know if there are any gaps in your wardrobe, and if you see the perfect piece you might want to add it to your wardrobe. You don't want to double up on things, and yeah, just ensure that you keep your accessories nice and classic, because then they'll go with everything, which just makes putting together your outfit so much easier. Should we go and see what Daddy's doing? Oh, you little bossy. Oh no, you be nice to your brother. And we're friends again. These are some of my favourite Cosmos. These are, I think they're called the Buttercup or the Cupcake Cosmos. They are so beautiful. I actually planted these a little bit later. Lovely Molly sent me the seeds for these. Shush, please. And I wasn't sure that they would catch up, but oh my gosh, they very much have. They're just all starting to come into flower now. So another update as summer draws to, well, not an end, but a middle. The wildflower meadow was just getting completely out of hand. There was a lot of overgrownness down here, so you can see where the pathway used to be, but we have got a local farmer helping us out, and it's actually Jack, who is our lovely gardener. Her husband has come and he's starting to help us to clear the meadow. You have to do it at the end of each summer, and where we've had so much rain and it just was getting, I mean, if we go down here you can see how it used to be. So he's basically been strimming and cutting down the meadow, and then we'll use a lawnmower and then probably cultivate this and add some seeds. The areas of actual wildflower turf still looking good. We're going to leave those. Still got some nice grasses, but you can see the whole meadow looked like this. Everything had got so long, it was just all flopping over. Didn't look great, so it's definitely looking, well, this doesn't look wonderful, but it's an area of the garden that's still a little bit of an area of experimentation, and hopefully with it all cut back, the trees might have a little bit more. I mean, that one has not done well at all, but the trees will have a little bit more space and will hopefully start to flourish. We've still got these little patches of wildflower. We've got some cow parsley, cow parsnip as well. You can see where there were some poppies. I mean, these are lovely. A whole meadow of these would just be absolutely beautiful. Charlie has just unboxed a delivery. Would you like to explain what this is?
So, I believe the lady that founded this, who's called Fiona, sent us some. I think she sent it to you, but I basically grabbed it and loved it. And I've got in the habit of having, so these I've bought, so I'm now fully paying customer and supporter of Sunbird Kitchen.
Lovely.
I bought these because basically with my HIIT workouts and stuff, and with a book I've been reading, I have realised that not having breakfast is not good for me.
Yeah.
But everyone's very different. But for me and the type of workouts I do, I need to eat something after my workout so that I've got the energy for a busy morning of work before lunch. And porridge has become quite a big thing, but then in the summer you don't really want porridge because it's quite warm and it's just too hot. So what I'm going to do with this, for example, is I will put this overnight in some oat milk or some almond milk in the fridge, and then obviously it soaks overnight, and then I'll just have it with some fresh berries or some banana or some peanut butter in the morning.
Nice. What flavours have you got?
So these are different flavours. I mean, they are, so for example, gluten-free oats, vegan, no added sugar. This is organic. This is the one I had before, which was really nice. Cacao, coconut, and walnut. So it's organic and gluten-free oats blended with cacao, roasted walnut pieces, diced date, and a variety of seeds.
Ooh, lovely.
So there's no, there's no added sugar at all in this.
What was that book you were reading, talking about like breakfast, like actual cereals?
Spoon-fed.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting book. I'm only about a third of the way in. It's interesting because on one hand it says it debunks all of these myths. So on one hand, it's a bit like the whole carrots are good for your eye, it's good for see, you know, the vitamins in carrots that are good for your eye function.
Right.
It's a complete myth that eating carrots is going to be better for your vision.
Really?
Yeah, it's complete nonsense. But there's an element of truth in it, but then there's an element of truth that cabbage could be good for your eyes or something else with that vitamin.
So funny.
But it's actually more, what's more interesting is when it's talking about like breakfast. So like the Victorians invented breakfast. Pre-Victorians,
Mr. Kellogg.
no one used to eat breakfast because they didn't have fridges. So they didn't have anything to keep anything in the right condition to eat the next morning. So it's firstly saying that the whole breakfast is the most important meal of the day is not true. Whereas actually I am saying, for me personally, given that I do intense workouts, I do need breakfast. But the average person probably doesn't. And if they do have breakfast, it says that high fat, and this is once again, it's sort of like everyone's different, depends on you and your body, but high fat is good in the morning because it kickstarts not your metabolism, but the whole sort of process. Basically, cereals are high in sugar. Even this has sugar in, because it's natural sugar. And
so like avocado is a really good breakfast.
Yeah, or obviously bacon, but anything like higher in fat, like eggs.
So bacon is good for me.
I think it's everything in moderation, and everyone's different. Again, got to hammer that through. No, there's no one size fits all. But what's interesting is when you start thinking about cereal as a whole, like Kellogg's or any of them, are literally there's nothing in it. They actually put vitamins in cereal, which is man-made vitamins, into the cereal. Because there's no nutrients in there.
So we won't be seeing you doing an ad for Special Care on your Instagram anytime soon.
You definitely won't be seeing me now. I've read this. And also, it talks about the whole insulin side of things, and obviously diabetes, but also insulin. And your body, let me get this right, because of the sugar when you first wake up, your cereal, your body then has to create insulin to balance out the sugar levels. I think that's right.
So you shouldn't have a sugary breakfast.
You definitely shouldn't have sugar in the morning.
No more Lucky Charms.
Juices and smoothies it talks about.
Oh no.
Once again, and then you've got the digestive side of it. With a smoothie, it talks about the fact that you need solid
It's just
food.
mad that we don't learn this in school. Like, when did you last use a quadratic equation?
Yeah, but I think what's mad is as we're getting older, you need to start questioning things more. Because what's mad is, so like the medical industry we're talking about, it's designed to mask a problem. Here's a drug. Mask it, not let's get to the root of the problem. Actually, it's to do with your back, or it's to do with some other
Fix the problem, like getting a chiropractor. Don't mask it with drugs.
And then in the same breath, all of the research studies that we read that are like, I don't know, research to prove that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It doesn't tell you who's paid for that research.
Yeah,
Kellogg's. Or McVitie's, or whoever owned these cereal brands.
Yeah, you do have to question everything.
And all these articles that are normally in the Daily Mail, Daily Malicious, or one of the other newspapers out there, they're all they're all
sponsored.
Yeah, 2 pages later they've got a flipping advert. Like it's all nonsense. You can't believe any of it. And even there's nutritionists out there that are doing research that's being paid for by Danone or something. And we work with some of these brands, don't get me wrong, but we all need to question things more.
Yeah.
And we also all need to say, right, this is what Charlie said, or this is what someone else has said to
now
me.
Go and do your own research.
Now go and try it and do it long enough that you can actually judge that it's worked. And if it doesn't work for you, try something else. Yeah. Because I think that's the other danger with social media is we all think, we look at Joe Wicks, for example, and I'm not saying he's doing it, but he might say that this is the right workout for you.
It's the right workout for him.
But it works for him and for a lot of other people, but it's not necessarily right for you. And as someone that is really massively into routine and sticks to it, that's the danger for me, because I will get into a habit and then stick to it and not realise that actually what I think is healthy isn't. And Dexter, I actually only eat organic every morning, you see. I eat organic every morning. And I've been really working on my abs. So you see these abs? I've got a six-pack now, you see, Mummy?
No, that's actually rolls of fat.
Oh, look at that lovely boy.
It's so lovely. What do you think? Your daddy is so clever and is so wise, isn't he? Yes, he learned a lot from me, you see. Daddy and I have intellectual conversations every morning. Look at that floofy, curly little bird. We have had some deliveries arrive today. This very fun delivery from Carolina Herrera, and it is very much like a fun summer holiday themed delivery, including an inflatable gold ring. I actually love inflatables and especially rings. I love just bobbing about in the ocean. So that is going to come in very handy on our next holiday. And this rather fabulous, very luxurious towel. So it's all to celebrate. They have got some fun, very fun new charms, new colorways, little pineapple, this beautiful teal, would you call that teal or turquoise lipstick? And obviously all parts of this are totally customizable, which is amazing. This is a fabulous bold red lipstick with a yellow chain. You can choose your lipstick color, you can choose your tassel, you can choose your charms, you can choose your case. I just love how customizable this is. And also the palette, this is their, not bronzer. You two are not allowed in here, you little pterodactyls. This is their highlight palette. Again, you can mix and match the top, you can choose what powder you want in there. I just love a customizable beauty product. Also had a delivery from Beautifect that make my lovely illuminating makeup box, and they have just launched a beauty sponge. I love the color of this. It's almost like that very on-trend color of slightly off hue. These two mad boys. And it feels like it's going to be really, really good. So I'm going to do my makeup with that in the morning, and I'll keep you posted. And then a lovely selection of goodies from Kate Somerville. They emailed me asking if I needed any top-ups, and I said I was all out of my Factor 50 spray. So that is a wonderful top-up. And then I hear amazing things about their Eradicate range, and I have got some like eternally there blemishes on my chin. So I'm going to try using this. The salicylic acid blemish spot treatment. I'm going to try that tonight. And then this is their liquid exfoliate range. Triple action resurfacing essence and treatment. And we have got a daily reflector, SPF 30 UVA and UVB sun cream, mineral sun cream. That sounds epic. So a lovely little selection of goodies that have arrived today. Good evening, my darlings. It's a few hours later. I say good evening. It's only about 5:30, but Charlie is cooking dinner. We're doing a Mindful Chef chickpea vegetable pasta. As you'll be able to tell, I have taken off my makeup. I do like to do that as almost like a routine to signify that the day is done, and I've had a very productive afternoon. So I'm going to pop on, I think I've heard a lot of people talking about this. This is the Eradicate Salicylic Acid Blemish Spot Treatment. Apply in the evening to clean dry skin. That is exactly what my skin is. So let's have a look. I don't know if this is going to be creamy or a gel. Ooh. It's almost like a peachy colour. So I'm going to pop it on my chin. And also I have got a spot here that I developed on like day 2 in Ibiza. And it still has not gone away. So who knows what that's all about. I was expecting that to sting or tingle because I'm guessing it's quite a high proportion of salicylic acid and retinol. Do not get into the eyes. Make sure you wear SPF. All the usual, so hopefully this might sort out. I basically have this one pore on my chin and it's just always there. It's always got a blemish in it. And I also notice, because I've been trying to reduce my foundation and instead wear concealer, I should take this out of the box, instead of foundation, especially on days like today where I'm just, you know, working from home. There are 3 pores on my chin that the concealer doesn't go in, so I look like I have just got 3 little holes in my face, which is not ideal. So I'm going to leave this to settle for a little while, and then I'm going to use my LED current body mask, and hopefully that will get my skin back to its best behaviour. And I'm actually going to end the vlog here. So we've had a one-day vlog, which I've not done in quite some time. And often when I do them, I'm like, oh, is this going to be really boring? But then I watch other people's vlogs, and I'm not saying other people's vlogs are boring, but sometimes people don't actually do that much in a vlog, like especially if it's a daily vlog, and I still enjoy them. So let me know, would you prefer, I don't know if I can get my vlogs any longer, I mean they're all pushing an hour, but would you prefer if I didn't ramble quite as much, I was a bit more succinct and maybe showed more, like across 3 days, or do you like the one-day rambly ones? Let me know what you guys think. I'm not gonna lie, I've just been doing a little bit of online shopping as well, so I'm now really excited for autumn. But I think we are gonna have some nice warm days, so I'm looking forward to spending some time in the garden tomorrow. I think I need to get everything out my greenhouse. I've been saying that for a long time. Can you tell I'm putting it off? But yeah, that's all for today's vlog, darlings. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you got to the end, please leave the word... I mean, we definitely don't want to leave the word blemish in the comments. Let's leave the word greenhouse in the comments. If you got to the end, I always love this little challenge. Do you know what? While my skin is clean, I'm going to pop on an Elizabeth Arden hyaluronic acid capsule and let that do its magic as well. Oh my gosh, my skin loves them. Okay, darlings, that is all from me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon in the next one. Oh, actually, let me know if you feel that it's too early for an autumn fashion video, or if you'd like to see that yet, because I'm thinking I might do that on Sunday. But is it too early? It's August. Let me know. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.